Hey, how you doing, YouTube? Once again, this your boy B with another update on my 125-gallon reef. We are actually in, let me see, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Actually in my 7th month. If you remember my earlier videos, the Reef Saber Rock is all white. Now, if you can take a little zoom in on it, she's nice and purple, getting a lot better. Everything's looking good here. Everything's coming along as planned. Everything's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I want you to notice something. As you're sitting there looking through my tank, you probably notice you're not seeing any fish swimming through the water column. And that is because I've recently had a very bad ick outbreak. Wiped a couple of my fish out, fellas. I lost 2 dragon gobies, 3 firefish, 3 chromis, and a tang. Well, 2 tangs. Just the other day had a powder brown die from it. I wasn't fast enough to save him and he perished. I want to do a little talking about this thing right here, what's going on with this ick. Ick is probably the biggest thing that a hobbyist will battle dealing with freshwater salt or brackish or ponds. It's going to be ick, baby. That ick is a beast. Well, my fish, they're upstairs in a quarantine tank. I want to talk about some myths. Okay, the number 1 myth, I'm gonna try to save you now. Number 1 myth, there are no reef-safe cures for ick. Kick ick, herb tonic, ick attack, none of them work. Don't waste your money. If there was a treatment that was reef-friendly for ick, it would cost hundreds of dollars. Because not only guys like you and I that do this for a hobby, you have guys that do aquaculturing and have the fish farms that sell the fish to the pet stores. They battle ick as well. And if there was a biologist that came up with a formula that was reef-friendly, it would cost hundreds of dollars, not under 100. So let's get that out the way. There is no safe way to treat a reef system and your fish in it without killing your corals and your inverts. So, got that one out of the way. The second rumor that I want to try to debunk here is, if you have a system and you have one fish that's showing signs of ick, you're seeing the little white spots on him, he's just not the only one that's infected. Everyone else in your tank is infected also. They've just built an immunity against it, so it doesn't get on them, on their bodies. Their slime coats have produced a protein that repels the ick. But the ick exists in their gills. It's there, and it's doing the same thing. It's crystallizing, it's getting hard, and after it gets hard, it matures, it falls to your substrate or on a rock. There, it has 200 to 500 more new spores that swim throughout the water looking for another host. It's just that when we see a stressed fish, that we see the white spots on the fish's body. But if you have one infected fish, all of them need to be treated. Don't sleep on it and think that they don't, because you'll start seeing them die off. Okay, so what I had to do, I had to break down this 85 pounds of rock, take all of this stuff out, fish each fish out, and now they're upstairs in my 60-gallon, which I was forced to turn into a quarantine tank because I didn't want to see anybody else die. So it's day 4. Well, today will be day 4 in a couple of minutes. It'll be 12, but it's day 4 of me quarantining with copper. Now, as far as I know, I've been in the hobby for 20 years. Now, the copper that I used to use, they've made advancements with that. There's a copper made by Seachem. It's an ionic copper. It's called cupramine. It's not the same kind of copper, the hard copper that is used that actually gets in your system and kills your live rocks and destroys your biological filtration. This copper is just as effective, but it's formulated differently, to where it dissipates out of your system, and you have to replenish it and keep it at a certain level in order for it to be effective and kill the parasites. So I'm going to quarantine for 4 weeks, and after 4 weeks, they will remain in that tank. And I'll put some carbon in there to remove the copper. But this tank here, this reef tank, it's going to sit for 12 weeks in order to kill off the existing strands of ick, M-I. General consensus says that the ick strands cannot live without a host. They need blood. They're little vampires. Yeah, and they need blood. So basically what you're doing, you're starving them out of existence. And like I said, general consensus says anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. I'm going to do 12 just to be on the safe side, because I just bought a powder blue today, and he's being quarantined, and I don't want to put him in my new yellow tang in there and see a spot, not one. So I'm going to go the extra month on top of what is the normal protocol to make sure that my system has been eradicated with the ick. So right now, you know, I'm still treating my system normally, lighten it up. I put food in there for the inverts, and I still, you know, check my parameters. And my corals are beautiful. Everything's doing fine with the corals. You know, some aquariums are different. I have a friend of mine. He can't do polyps or zoanthids of any kind. It just won't grow in his tank. And we've checked parameters. It's just the nature of this hobby. Some people, I can't do angels. No matter what I do, I can't keep an angel alive to save my life. And I know, you know, there's different things different people can't do. I don't know what it is. It's just, I guess it's just the chemistry that the hobbyist has with his tank or with the creatures. I don't know, but it exists. So look, I'm passing on this info to you as I do. I don't know if you remember my early videos. I said as I find those things, I'll pass them on to you to try to save you some headaches. Because I went through this one, I was actually giving the fish I was feeding them antibiotics from the company Seachem, and they appear to have worked and keep the fish strong and healthy. But in order to get rid of it, you just got to hit them with copper. There's nothing that's going to kill it as effectively as copper. Now, as far as the chemicals out there that are saying that they're reef safe, I will say that kick ick does destroy them in the free swimming stage. But at the same time, I've also heard some negative reports about kick ick, that it has destroyed corals and also destroyed people's inverts. So you probably just want to go ahead and do the hard work, take your stuff out, and this is a good opportunity as you're taking it out to go ahead and siphon out stuff and adjust stuff if you'd like. And just be sure, just make sure, go that extra mile just to make sure that you won't have these kind of problems that I'm having right now. Now, see, me, I don't mind because I've developed patience in this hobby. I've had it for years, so it doesn't upset me that I have to do this. The only thing that upset me is I just didn't start the treatments in time to save that powder blue tank. It wasn't the money, it's just, you know, the fish died, and I watched it, you know, and it was unfortunate, but that's, you know, you see these things in the hobby sometimes. It just doesn't make me feel good. It didn't bring me to tears or anything, but I was kind of moved by it. So, you know, I probably won't be doing any updates. The next update I'll do is probably around September, when I'll be introducing the fish back into the system. And that'll probably be the next video that I'll post, when I actually put the little guys back in here. But for right now, they're going to do 4 weeks quarantine, and then after the 4 weeks quarantine, I have another 7 weeks to wait for this tank for these strands of it to die off without a host. For some strange reason, they don't, you know, affect the inverts or the corals. Now I want to say something else too. Now, since I've ran into this situation, there's nothing that I'm going to introduce into my tank that I'm not going to quarantine From now on, if I get a piece of live rock or I get a piece of coral, I'm going to take it through a 4-week quarantine. Yes, coral too. Yep, the coral too. The coral, you know, the little spores can be on some of the coral or a piece of live rock, but if you let it just sit there without a fish, it dies off. Alright, this is your boy B. I hope this video has been informative to you. And the name of that medication, it is Cupamine by Seachem. And it is currently the best copper treatment out there right now. It's not too harsh on your filter bed or the fish, but it's going to be hell on the parasites. Alright, this is your boy B. And I hope all is well with your tanks, and I hope all you guys are doing well.